big Saturday night show. How you doing, folks? Woo! Are you woo? Woo! Me too, I'm woo! Good, excellent, I love that. I love when people answer the question, how are you, like that. How are you? Woo! Did you ask how I am? I'm woo! Woo is how I feel. I love that. That's our last primal instinct, that thing, right? Everybody does that. I don't care how laid back you think you might be, at some point in your life, everyone's gone, woo! Can't help it, right? It's that last little bit of monkey left in there. We can't get rid of that. It's in there. Woo, woo, ah. But we've narrowed it down into a word because we want to feel human, right? So we all do the same word. Woo! W-O-O-O-H. Except out west. In Calgary, they go, ow! They put the W at the end, the fuckers. What's that? Different tribe. That's about. Oh, I love it. You would only ever answer the question, how are you, like that, though, like in a large group of people like this, though. You wouldn't answer that way, like one-on-one. That would be weird, right? Driving home at night and a cop pulls you over or something. How are you this evening? Woo! Woo! Baby, how are you? I just blow in here. Pretty small penis on that cop, eh? Holy crap. Poor guy, I feel bad for him. He's got a good job, though. Don't worry about it. He'll be all right. Good to be back. Wow, cheers to you. I'm having a Corona beer myself. Anyone having a Corona? Cerveza? Anyone? Woo! We'll make you do that. The Corona. I love the Corona. A buddy of mine tried to talk me out of that, though. I was having lunch with this buddy of mine. He's one of these big conspiracy theory nuts. Do you have friends like that? Conspiracy theory freaks. Everything will kill you and the government's in on it, man. And you don't know because you believe what you read in the paper, sucker. I get my information online. That's way more credible, right? So I'm having lunch with this guy and I ordered a Corona. He goes, oh my God, Tim, Jesus, you don't drink Corona, do you? And I'm like, why? What's up with the Corona? He goes, you know what I heard? It's the only beer they have to do a special test on to make sure there's no human feces. I'm like, what? And he goes, yeah, because they make it in Mexico in the water down there. They gotta do a special test to make sure there's no fecal matter. I'm like, really? And this is the only beer they do that test on? He goes, yeah. And I said, well, good, that's my beer then. You drink your Molson untested for fecal matter. You're drinking this, you know? I know they don't make Molson down in Mexico, but, you know, maybe some disgruntled employee at Molson's took a dump in the vat before he quit, right? Screw you, Molson, I'm out of here. Now you're drinking that, because they don't test for that at Molson's. This, guaranteed no human shit right there. You can taste the feces-free freshness. He's all concerned that they do that test, and I'm like, they should print that right on the bottle, you know? Tested, you know, because it's a clear bottle, you can see right through it, and, you know, you want to have that comfort level if you want to look at that and go, okay, for sure that's lime pulp. That's a hunk of lime, for sure. Hey, don't you hate when you have a party at your house and you're cleaning up the next day and you find a bunch of this shit? 3/4 full beers, half full beers? You got like 6 2-4s worth of half full beers in your house? It's such a waste, you know? There are sober children in Africa who would dearly love to get a buzz on. It's offensive to leave that around my house. I'm trying to wean myself off alcohol. I was drinking way too heavily for a while, so I've been cutting back. I never cut anything out cold turkey, though. I do a step-down process, right? Like, I cut out all the hard liquor. I'm just drinking beer now. And then after this, I'll just drink water. And then after that, American beer. And then I'm off of it. So, you don't want to shock the system, right? You just kind of gradually. I love to tease the Americans. I love America, though. I go down to the States quite a bit. And the funny thing I noticed down there is we both speak the same language. We both speak English, but there is one word difference. You know what it is? Washroom. They don't use the word washroom down there to mean John, shitter, can, bathroom, restroom, right? They'll accept all those words, but you go up to a waitress in a Denny's and ask for a washroom and watch her not be able to put two and fucking two together. You need a what? A washer? A what? You need a wash? What? Did you bring your laundry? What? Washroom? What? I'm like, I'm sorry, the restroom. You know where the restroom? Oh yeah, the restroom. That's over there. I didn't know what you meant. Washroom. What are you gonna wash up in there? No, I'm gonna rest. My word makes more sense than yours, actually. I am gonna wash in there, you pig. What do you do? You know? I don't want you bringing me my food, okay? Someone who can understand a washroom to bring me my food, for God's sakes. It's good to be back, though. I'm originally from Toronto, grew up here my whole life. I'm a Toronto boy, but I moved out west about 4 years ago. Moved to the West Coast. Woo! Yeah, the West Coast. It's cool up there. I didn't move because I hated Toronto. I moved because I felt like I would fit in, really, out west. I thought, you know, I'm a Toronto boy, but I think I would fit in more out west, you know, because I love the great outdoors. I'm a peace-loving guy. I don't like to work. So I thought, where should I live? The West Coast, man. Very laid back out there. That's what they'll tell you. Oh, they're really laid back. And they are. They're very laid back. But it's kind of confusing because of all the coffee they drink. Oh my God, they chug the coffee. You know, it's like, how are you laid back on that much coffee? Pot. Marijuana. For every Starbucks out west, there are 7 grow-ups. I think most of the Starbucks out there actually have a grow-up in the basement. So the pot counteracts the coffee, right? It's like, but the coffee's still in there, so they're laid back, but it's a very militant laid back. It's like, hey man, welcome to Vancouver. Just so you know, we're way more laid back here. You fucking better be too, asshole. You get your ass back to Toronto. Good to be back, though. I miss a lot of things about Toronto. I miss the aggression. I miss the rat race. You know, I miss a lot. I rented a car at the airport and I hopped in the car and I'm driving down the 401 and I must have pissed some guy off. He got really mad at me, honked at me, and drove around and cut me off and gives me the finger. Probably some habit I picked up in Vancouver, you know. But he got all pissed off, gives me the finger and everything, and I was just like, all right, yeah, I'm back. Woo! Fuck you too, pal. Yeah! All right, back in Toronto. Yeah, this is good. Good to be back. You know what's getting out of hand here, though? I was out shopping around today. Every store you go into nowadays wants to give you one of their frequent customer incentive cards. You go, you can't buy anything without, have you got one of our cards? No, I don't have one of your cards. Well, keep our card. Put it in your wallet with the 50 other ones you got from every goddamn store. You know what I mean? I bought a car like 2 months ago. I went into the Honda dealership. I buy the car. The guy gives me one of these cards with 6 little pictures of Hondas on it. He punches the first one out and goes, okay, you hang on to that. Every time I go back and buy a new car, he'll punch another one out. After I bought 6 cars, I get a free Subway sub. What the hell is that? It's a shit deal. I got to carry this card around for 80 years? It's a paper card. It's not even laminated. It's a scam. They know they'll never have to pay out on that sub. Don't buy it. Driving in there, a big convention center out by the airport there, and I noticed they have 2 conventions going on at the same time right now. They have a Star Trek convention in one hall, and then right next door in the other hall, a wrestling convention. Yeah, imagine those 2 groups of freaks all in one building, right? I was driving by with a buddy of mine, he makes this joke, he goes, yeah, I bet there's a lot of people going to both. And I thought about that for a second, and I was like, no, I don't think so, you know? I think those are 2 very different groups of people, you know? Wrestling fans know that wrestling is fake. I love the 1.5 second delay on that joke. Oh, yeah, right, yeah, right. Oh, so what else can I tell you? I've been traveling around quite a bit recently. Do you like to travel? Do you get around? Yeah? It's fun? Just for a bit? All right. I love to travel, man. It's very fun. You ever travel somewhere where you find out you're supposed to get a needle before you go there? You know, like Parkdale? No, I'm kidding. fucking clean. There they are. Yeah! Shouldn't you be working right now? It's prime hours. Yeah, there's a bunch of Johns driving down the street going, where are they all? Must have gone out for a comedy show or something. Well, it's true though, you gotta get a needle when you go some places. I was telling a friend of mine I'm going to Chile. And he goes, oh, you gotta get a needle before you go there, right? And I'm like, what? And he goes, yeah, you gotta go see your doctor. So I went to my doctor and I said, yeah, I'm going to Chile. And he goes, oh yeah, I should give you this needle. So he's getting it ready, some kind of inoculation, and he goes, so when do you leave? And I said, well, we leave in 4 days. And he goes, oh, too late. Like, what? I didn't even know I was supposed to get this thing done, and now I'm too late. He goes, yeah, you're supposed to get the needle like 2 weeks before you leave. And I said, oh, well, I paid for that plane ticket. I'm getting on that plane. Am I going to be all right? And I swear to God, my doctor, he looks at me, he goes like this, he goes, you should be all right. What the hell is that? Aren't you a man of science, you know? Did you not go to school for like 1,000,000 years? That's the best you can give me? He said, oh, yeah, go for it. Yeah, go. Let me know, though, how it goes. Yeah, you get back to me and I'll use that information in my future doctoring, right? If you die, I'll tell the next guy, no, don't. Dangerous. We didn't have any health problems. We had language problems, though. We went to a very small town where they don't speak any English at all, and my wife and I don't speak any Spanish, but we thought, oh, we'll get by. Why? That was stupid. What? Get by? How important could communication be when traveling in a foreign land, really? You might need... But you're stupid. You think, oh, we'll take a Spanish phrase book with us, and we're going to do a lot of mime. I'll have 2 of those. Doesn't work all the time, right? Like it's breakfast time, we're in a restaurant, I want to order some eggs, so I pull up the Spanish phrase book and I order the eggs in Spanish, and then the waitress comes back at me with some big long question in Spanish. She thinks I speak Spanish now, I'm reading slowly from a book. And I'm like, ¿Cuánto sí que like about the huevos? You know, she's like, you know what I'll do? I'll just look all those words up right now. Makes you think I can understand what you're saying, right? But I asked for the eggs, and then she asked me a question back, so I assume she's probably asking what kind of eggs, how do you want your eggs done? So there was no word for what I wanted in the book, so I just went, poached? Yeah, poached. Which she should have got, I'm doing that. Fucking stupid, come on, poached. She hears blah blah. Blah blah blah. Blah. Of course she can't get it, right? So she goes and gets the manager, because the manager actually speaks a bit of English. So the manager comes up, she goes, oh yeah, she wants to know how you want your eggs done. I said, yeah, I want them poached. And the manager turns to the waitress, she goes, oh, poached. And the waitress goes, oh, poached. I'm like, fuck off! Is it not close enough to poach for you? Come on! Oh. You hadn't got an English person for that, you know? We're supposed to score there, you know? I say poached, and you go, pocha? And I go, yeah, pocha. And if that's wrong, I'll have pocha eggs, whatever the hell they are, right? Oh, pocha means with frogs. Oh, we tried. I'll put up with it, you know? They try to help you out with picture language whenever you travel anywhere internationally, right? Because they know people are coming from all over the world. So you get on a plane, and they tell you to read the safety card, but there's no reading to be done. There's no words. It's all just cartoon language, right? Which I didn't take in college, I guess. I skipped that course. Because I can't understand all those cards. I can get most of them. I'm not an idiot, right? But it's like some of them are very confusing, you know? It's like, oh yeah, right, buckle your seatbelt. Sure, I got that, yeah. And the life vest is under the seat, yeah, okay. And when the gas mask falls, put that over your face. But help the midgets first? What? Oh, kids! They got the kid in a suit. Jesus. Kids don't wear suits. Come on, what are you doing? Even on planes do kids wear suits. So they're a little confusing, you know? And then I get to one that I can't even get started on. I'm like, oh my... And I want to know what the safety procedure is, but I'm I'm embarrassed to ask the stewardess, you know, excuse me, what did the picture mean? I don't understand the picture. sure the stewardess would be like, ask the 5-year-old beside you, sir. He's wearing a suit, he looks like a smart kid. He'll help you out. Confusing. There's this one that I've seen on like every plane I've been on, and to this day I have no idea what this means. It's like a little 3-frame cartoon. And it's very simple looking, like you're supposed to be able to get something from this, but man, tell me if you can, in the first frame there's a picture of a guy sitting in the window seat of the plane, right? And he's looking out the window, and you know this because there's a line going from his eye through the window to what looks like a cloud outside the airplane, right? Second frame, same guy sitting there looking out the window, dotted line from his eye through the window. Now where the cloud was though, big ball of flames. Fire out there in the sky somehow, what? I don't know. There's one more frame to go, right? So last frame, same guy sitting there looking out the window, dotted line from his eye through the window. Now the cloud and the flames are gone. There's nothing at the end of the dotted line. But where the line goes through the window in this one, the window's all broken and shattered. That's it. End of information. You're supposed to know something. Right now you should be all going, oh, well obviously. Does anyone have a clue what that means?
Keep an eye on the engines.
What's that?
Keep an eye on the engines.
Keep an eye on the engines? I don't know. I thought they were saying, look, we all like to light the clouds on fire with our laser vision. But doing so may cause the window of the plane to shatter. So for the love of God, man, do not use your laser vision on the aircraft. So I didn't, but it is tempting. I know why. Good thing they put that on there, right? See the big white puffy clouds. And you know you could just... I can't just light one on fire? Well, get some better windows then. Have some fun here. Actually, you were closer, because I did find out what that meant. I was doing that joke one night. This guy pipes up, he's an Air Canada pilot. He goes, oh, I can tell you what that means. And he told me, and I don't believe him. It's something like what the buddy said there. He said it means if you look out the window and you see the engine's on fire, you see smoke, you see flames, don't keep looking at it, because the engine fire will get so hot, it will cause the glass to break and the glass will go in your eyes. I was like, what? And he goes, yeah, that's what it means. And I'm like, no. And he's like, yes. And I was like, no. It's not possible. That's can't. Because, yeah, that's my biggest fear when I see an engine fire. I'm going to get glass in my eye. Excuse me, stewardess, I noticed the engine's on fire. Right now I'm a little concerned about getting some glass in my eye. What I'm going to do, I'm going to look away from the engine fire. No harm will come to me. A couple pieces of glass off the back of the head, I can take that. I'll be alright. Sure, that's what that means. I'm not a nervous flyer at all, but I am deathly afraid of plane toilets. Anyone else? They creep you out. I don't even flush. I leave it for the next guy. I'm like, I'm afraid of that thing. Did I just open a gate to another world? What the hell is that? You know? What makes that much suction? That's a door to the outside of the plane is what that is. Don't let anyone kid you. You're opening a little hatch to the outside, and I'm afraid, what if I accidentally bump the flush button with my elbow while I'm still sitting down, forming a seal? Next thing you know, I'm a chunk of ice in a farmer's field. That's no way to go, man. It's a bad death. You don't want to die in such a manner that the priest can't even keep a straight face at your funeral, right? Bad death. Freak me out. Not as bad as the toilets on the trains over in Europe. You ever taken a train through Europe? Anyone? Oh my God, the toilets freaked me out. We got on a train in Italy, and I walked into the bathroom, and I was like, oh my God, there's like this normal-looking toilet bowl like we have here, and then this tube goes down from the toilet bowl, and then daylight and train tracks. There's like no filtration system of any kind. Every bit of business you do, bam, right onto the tracks. Man, I didn't know, you know. Now I know not to lick the rocks on the railway tracks. I didn't know that. Oh man. You ever do that on a Saturday afternoon? Just stroll the tracks and lick the rocks? Don't. Not after what I saw, man. Easy. Fun trip, though. We had a fun trip. We went to Rome. Anyone been to Rome? Isn't it beautiful there? You get to see all the old ancient ruins and stuff. I saw some of the most beautiful scaffolding. They're fixing everything right now. Everything you pay to get over there to go see. Where's the Colosseum? Well, it's behind that big cage of workmen right now. And here's a postcard. Oh, cool. So it looks like that. All right. But what I found out very interesting is that the scaffolding around the Colosseum right now was actually originally erected in 1984. Still stands today. Yeah, it's the original scaffolding. So you just look at that and go, wow, cool, that is old scaffolding. I wonder what people were like back then. In the 80s. We went into the Vatican, of course, which was fun. Did you go into the Vatican? Did you get caught by the dress code at all? No? You were all dressed up? I was, well, because it's like 90 degrees there in the summertime, so I was wearing like shorts and a t-shirt. And there's a big dress code. You can't go into the Vatican with shorts on. And I took my shorts off, and they were still like, no. Not the shorts we had a problem with, assholes. They don't want to see any of your evil flesh. Cover up! Right? They don't want to see any of it. And I felt bad for the women, because there was a lot of women showing up, and they were obviously dressed up really nice. They had like, they thought ahead, and they put on their best blouse, and their best skirt, and their best shoes, and they were all dolled up. But the skirt that they had on only came down to here. It wasn't like they were wearing a mini. They had a skirt down below their knee, but they had like this much leg showing between their sock and their skirt. And that was enough. The guards are very adamant. They will not let you in like that. With this much leg showing, they won't let you in. And it was funny to watch because the guards only speak Italian, and a lot of the tourists only speak English, so it was funny to watch the guards with their broken English trying to explain to these women why they're not letting them in with their skirts, you know. They're like, no, 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 you'll not go in, because, slut. Slut, see, slut, see. The Pope in there, you slut not go in. You might like it too much. You know? So that was fun to watch. So I went back, I changed. I went back to the hotel and covered up all my evil flesh. I put on a long sleeve shirt and long pants, and I come back and I'm like, can I go in now? And they're like, yeah, you're all covered up, go on in. So I go in and I look up at the ceiling and oh my God, the most disgusting display of pornography. Paintings of naked chicks per square inch like you can't even believe, right? It's like, oh, I can't come in here with my shorts on, look at all the boobies. There's an angry devil character over there ramming a hot fire poker up that chick's snatch. I can't come in here with my Bermuda shorts on. You guys are a little whacked with your morals here, I don't understand. Doesn't make any sense to me, because they're very comfortable with nudity over there, right? All their beaches are naked, all their statues are naked, right? You got a big statue of Medusa right out front. You know Medusa, right? With the skimpy little bikini and the snakes in the hair. What? What are you, from Scarborough? Bikini and the snakes? Come on. But I hated Medusa. Medusa was, I never liked Medusa. The whole myth of Medusa really pissed me off because it was, here was the deal, right? Medusa, any man that looks directly into her eyes turns to stone. Instantly, right? Which is like a horrible thing to happen to anyone. No one wants to get turned to stone. That's punishment. So that's not fair. All the nice guys were getting turned to stone. All the assholes were looking at her tits. They walk away scot-free. That's not fair. I was raised to look into the eyes. All the assholes are like, all right, Medusa. And off they go. Women wonder, where are all the nice guys? They're all statues, ladies. You see them around town, all those nice old guys, always looking up into the eyes, you know. You never see statues like this. Those guys got away, shit. There. Tell you about this, I had to go to the I had to go to the ear, nose, and throat specialist. My doctor sent me there because I had a sore throat and he couldn't figure out what was going on. He couldn't see all the way down there. So he sends you to the ear, nose, and throat specialist because this guy's got a camera on the end of a long tube and he's going to stick it all the way down my throat and have a look, right? So he shows me the camera. He's like, oh yeah, here's the camera, big long tube, and I'm going to stick this down your throat. And I was like, dude, I will puke all over you. You're not getting that thing down my throat, right? And he's like, oh, no, don't worry. We have this spray. We spray it down your throat and it'll numb your throat and you won't even know it. I'm like, I don't think so. You're going to get wet. Go ahead if you want, you know? So he sprays this stuff down my throat, and then I could feel my throat kind of go all numb and stuff, but I still didn't believe it. And then so he takes the camera and he sticks it in my mouth, and I thought that's it. I thought he stuck it in my mouth and stopped. But then I look at the TV monitor that he has it hooked up to, and I could see all the way down my throat, right? And I was like, is that all the way down my throat? And as I'm saying that, I could see my throat going blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, it's all the way down here right now. And he points, he's like, yeah, it's right here right now. And I was like, holy cow, I couldn't even feel it. I wasn't gagging or nothing, you know? And I was like, so, Doc, spray. Got like an extra can of that I could take home with me? So, you know, I got my own camera on a tube at home, and I would like to just double check for myself after a couple of weeks. No, I'm not going to sneak it into my wife's dress spray. No, it's not what you're thinking. My wife freaked me out the other day. She asked me this out of the blue. We were lying in bed. She goes, hey, have you ever had fantasy about having sex with another man? Right out of the blue she asks me that. Maybe not right out of the blue. I might have asked her first if she had ever thought about having sex with another woman. That's right, that's what I did. I asked her first. That's how it went. I asked her first. So then she throws it back at me, right? And I'm like, no. And then she goes, well, what about this? If you could somehow reach yourself down there, would you orally pleasure yourself? I'm like, yeah, what do you mean? Would you have to ask that? What? Seriously, you want to know the answer to that? I'm like, yes. I don't think I've fantasized a million times about being able to leave my body. And she goes, well, would you actually have to leave your body? What if you laid on your back and you put your legs up over your legs? Like, you don't think I've tried that? She asked me that like every guy in the world hasn't tried the old lay on the back and throw the legs up over the head. I've tried, baby. I've been to yoga class. Nothing, okay? I can't do it. It's not going to happen for me. I'm a big morning person. Any morning people here? Woo! I love the morning. I get up every day to greet the morning. It's the most beautiful time of day. The rest of you, get into it, because it's awesome, the morning. Honestly, it's the most beautiful time of day. I wish it lasted longer. That's my problem. It's like half an hour and then it's noon. What is that before 11:30? Is that the dawn? I'm going to check out dawn one day. So yeah, fun living out west. Pot is legal. Not really, but close. You can get away with smoking pot out in the street there. They will not arrest you, you know. I mean, you can't go right up into a cop's face and go... But pretty close, right? But I remember back here, we used to have to hide our pot smoking. We would skulk down the alleyway and smoke a joint, you know, and be careful not to get caught. And my friends would go so far, they would carry Visine around with them. That's how crazy they were, because when you smoke pot, your eyes get all red and bloodshot, and then everybody can tell that you're stoned. No, your eyes are red, man, you're stoned. So my friends, they put the Visine in their eyes, because it gets the red out, and then their eyes are all clear, and then of course nobody can tell that they're stoned, right? And then my buddy's always like, oh Tim, your eyes are really red there, here's some Visine, you better put some Visine in, because I'm like, actually I want everybody to know that I'm stoned. I don't want them to think I'm a babbling fucking idiot for no reason at all, right? Like you, they just think you're a knob, you know? And I'm going, no, his eyes are clear. Just a fucking idiot, I guess. That talked to me about his carburetor for half an hour. It's a nice carburetor, but... I got bitten by a duck once. Is that the smoothest segue you ever heard in your life? Holy shit. You're like, what? We're talking about ducks? I didn't even notice the transition. I got bitten by a duck. I hate ducks now. I'm prejudiced against all ducks because of that one little asshole that bit me. I think they're all cranky little assholes. Anyone else have been bitten by a duck? I'll bet. Yeah? Did you get bitten by a duck? Anyone else? Yeah? See? Everywhere. They're all biting. Did you provoke the duck in any way? Twice. Did you provoke the duck in any way? You just feeding it or something? Yeah. Here's some food. Ow! Little assholes. I was at a petting zoo, petting the duck, very softly on his head, and he bit me, and I'm pissed off, right? I'm like, hello, excuse me, petting zoo, hello? Do you know where you work, asshole? What? Check your job description. Here's my fucking ticket, all right? It says you take a petting and shut up about it. That's your gig. If you don't like it, get out of here, right? There's no roof, you got wings, fuck off. You stay for the free food, don't you? Well, it's not free, you gotta take a little of that. Asshole. Pissed me off. And I was offended, right? He's insulting my masculinity, right? Because if he's gonna bite me, he must think he could take me. Because you don't make the first move unless you think you can follow up, right? So that duck's got to be going, yeah, I can take that guy. I'm insulted, right? I'm the first one to admit I'm not a tough guy at all. But dude, I can take any duck. Come on, man. What do you do? Why don't you go get 5 of your duck friends and come on back, asshole? I'll be right here. I'll make a pillow out of you. That's what I'll do. Get a good night's rest tonight with my head on your cushy ass. Duck. Like, I wouldn't bite a bear, duh. I'd get my ass kicked, right? Maybe if it was already mauling me to death, but not if he just come up and started petting me. Hello. Hi there. You know, I'm not gonna go, ah! So he'll kick my fucking ass, that's why. And I know a bear could kick my ass. Pretty much anything but a duck. I'm not a tough guy. Any tough guys here? Tough guys in the house? There might be, but they would just answer that question like this. Definitely looking, you don't know. You know what I mean by tough guys, though? Guys who are like always getting into fights, always scrap. I used to have these buddies of mine that every weekend they would get into a scrap, and it's like, how can you get into a fight every weekend and I never do, right? It's like, because they're always thinking about it. Always thinking about scrapping. Like every decision they make in life, they have to factor scrapping into that decision somehow, right? Right? Like the guy's buying a pair of pants in a store or something, and he's like, oh, these pants fit nice. I like that color there. Could I kick a guy in the head with these? Better test them out. Make sure I can go uptown. And now you know how tough I am from how I kick. That's what you got coming at you if you piss me off. Oh yeah? Yeah? You want some of that? Come and get some. Fuck off. That was my big move in high school. Fuck off! I'll tell. I'm not afraid to tell. I could never be a tough guy. I've accepted that my whole life. I'm a skinny guy, you know, and it was even worse back in high school. I was scrawny. That's different. Skinny's when you're a very thin person. Scrawny's when you're a very thin person and people beat you up a lot. And I was a rocker dude, too, so I had like really long hair all the way down to my ass. And oh my God, if you're a skinny guy and you want to make yourself look even better, grow the hair down to your ass. That's what you do. And wear skin-tight blue jeans. That's the look for you. Skinny man. Look good, buddy. That was my look.
What high school?
What high school? Is that what you said? Streetsville.
Streetsville.
Streetsville, what? Why'd you ask if you don't know every single high school in the land? Mm-hmm. What, did you go there? Did you beat me up? Go get 5 of your duck friends. I'm getting a good night's rest tonight. scrawny little wimp. And you're sitting up for the bullies when you look like that. Like, there's no way to fake your toughness when you're like that skinny, right? If a big guy was going to beat me up, I couldn't go, yeah, well, you don't know what I know, buddy. I envy the blowfish. I should explain that a bit more. There wasn't enough information. The blowfish is like a wimpy little fish, right? But when it's threatened, it has this mechanism. It can blow itself up and look really huge suddenly and scare away its intruder with its sudden massive size. I have no such mechanism. I wish I did. The best thing I could do if some guy were to threaten me is trying to accentuate my tallness as much as possible. You know, just...
Asshole. Yeah, 7'5". Didn't know that a second ago, did you?
That wouldn't work, though. That would just be farther for me to fall to the ground. That's how that would do. You know what does work, though? I can't believe this. I fluked this one night. I was in a bar, and it was very crowded, and I bumped elbows with this guy, and he spilled a bit of beer on his favorite new shirt, I guess, right? And he just came at me, this big goon of a guy. It was very crowded. You couldn't help it, right? And I bumped his elbows with beer on his shirt. He said, "You asshole, look at my shirt." He just like came at me, and there was no getting out of a fight. He was coming at me, and I'm not a fighter. I didn't know how to deal with it, and so for some reason, just this weird instinct, I hissed at him. As he came at me, I just went... He fucked off. He took off. He did not want to mess with the Cobra Man, right? That's how that works. He does not understand the Cobra Man. Therefore, he fears the Cobra Man. That's how that works, baby. You should try that. Give that a go. It doesn't have to be like a fight. You can just be like in a restaurant. You got some snooty-ass waiter pissing you off, you know? You're like, you know, I ordered my food quite a while ago. Is my food ready? Well, you know, sir, you're not my only table. I have 11 customers. The food is on its way, baby. That waiter's in the back kitchen recruiting help from the other staff right about now. Just leave your section for a minute. I have a Cobra Man. Table 5. Yes, he's angry. He's hissing. Give that a go. I'll give you the tip, though, if you're going to try that. It's because I'm particularly good at it. If you're going to make that noise, do it quietly. Way scarier, right? Trust me, this is very scary. That's scary enough. This is way scarier. See, you were scared right there. I know. You were scared. Hey, have you ever tried to suck your friend into something to see how gullible they are? Just as a joke, just some crap you're going to pull. You don't think in a million years they're actually going to buy this load of horse shit, but they do. They buy it. And you're about to laugh at them, and then you realize you're not exactly pleased about this. You just found out your friend is way stupider than you thought. It's like a horrible realization. I was with this buddy of mine one time. This was in Toronto. It was wintertime. We were walking down by the lake, and it was all frozen over because it was wintertime. Normally, in the summertime, if we were walking by this particular part of the lake, there's a lot of ducks hanging around. Right? Fucking ducks, waiting to bite someone's ass. So it's wintertime. We're walking by, and there's no ducks. And as we're walking by, he says to me, he goes, "Hey, where are the ducks? Like where do the ducks go in the wintertime?" And I said, "Oh, they're under the ice, actually." And he buys that, right? He goes, "Really? Like just like hibernating and shit?" And I go, "Yeah. Yeah, hibernating and shit." He goes, "That's wild. I never knew that." Fuck. This is like my best friend, you know? I've made serious life decisions based on advice from this guy. He thinks the ducks are under the ice. Because I told him they were, so. It's a scary situation, right? Have you ever met somebody at a party that you think is like really cool and interesting, and you're like, "Oh, this is someone I could be friends with. They're intelligent and witty, and we're having a great conversation." And then somewhere in the middle of the conversation, they just say like one word. Or they just phrase something a certain way that just makes you just suddenly go, "Oh, you're fucked." You could not be more fucked, you. What did you say? You ever read that? I met this guy at a party, and we're talking away, and he seems like a really cool guy. I'm like, oh, I could be friends with this guy, a really cool guy. And then the subject comes up that he lives across the street from a high school, and he tells me he likes to go out at 3:30 and walk by the high school because he likes to watch the high school girls. I was like, oh my God, you know, what an idiot. 3:30, you go by at 4, that's when the detention girls are getting out. What are you doing at 3:30, you knob? You think someone's got their head on straight. I'm married. I mentioned that. Marriage is great. I endorse marriage. A lot of comics make fun of their wives and they hack on marriage. Marriage. Somebody told me once that the best thing about marriage is you get to share all the good things in your life with someone, which is true. But I've discovered the best thing about marriage is you get to share all the bad things in your life with someone, right? So it cuts the bad shit in half. It's like, I'm not in debt. We're in debt. I'm not getting evicted. We're getting evicted. I don't have chlamydia. We're getting a divorce. So, you know, good to share the bad as well as the good. Don't worry, my wife likes that joke. I like darker comedy. Most comics like dark comedy, right? Because we're kind of sick and twisted in the head, right?
Love it.
What's that?
She loves it too.
You love it too? Excellent. I like getting sick of it. And it pisses me, political correctness pisses me off as a comic. It gets in the way of my job, right? Because I think we should all try to not offend people and use our common sense to do so. But when you have a list of words that we're allowed to say and not say, like right now, here's what happens, right? There's a group of teachers right now that are trying to get rid of certain phrases in our language that they deem to be violent phrases, right? And I'm all for anti-violence. But the phrases they're talking about, they listed them in the paper. They're very cute, harmless little phrases that we all use every day, like uphill battle, killing 2 birds with 1 stone, shooting yourself in the foot, easy as punching a baby in the face, like all classics. Don't ruin the language, okay? It really... Oh my God. I like that. Nothing offends me either, like comedy-wise, nothing can offend. If it's funny, right? If it's not funny, it offends me. But if it's funny, impossible to be offensive to me, as long as it's like. Here's how I explain that, right? You know the movie Reservoir Dogs? You know there's that scene where that mob guy's got the cop tied up in the warehouse, and he cuts his ear off? It's like one of the sickest scenes in the whole movie. This poor cop, he's all tied up, and this mob guy cuts his ear off, right, with a razor blade. It's all, poor guy's screaming and stuff, and the blood's flying, right? But then the guy gets his ear cut off, and he's holding the guy's ear in his hand, and he gets right down to the cop's face and goes, hey, 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 hello. Hello. And I'm like, oh, man. Not only did I think that scene was funny, but I swear to you, even if I was the cop who just got his ear cut off, I would laugh at that, right? I was like, ah, you son of a bitch, you cut my fucking ear off! That's a good one. That's pretty funny, man. Fucking asshole. What a good crowd, eh? Laughing out loud and all that. That sounds funny to you, but honestly, sometimes you'll watch a comedy show and the crowd's having a great time, but they're just like this. It's so true, it's so true. That's no good, let it out, you know. Unless you have some weird, freaky cackle. Keep that shit in. You wouldn't think laughter could ever screw up a comedy show, but oh my God. Aunt Ethel shows up with her freaky laugh. It wrecks it, you know. I was doing a show one night, this woman sat right down front, and she knew, right, like her whole life, every day someone had to tell her, you got a fucked up laugh. So she goes to the comedy club, sits right down front, and then all night long I've got to put up with this laugh, and I can do her laugh exactly. It was exactly like this. What are you, leaking air? What is that? Are you pressurized and you release that with a valve or something? How do you get that? Go to laugh school. Ha ha ha. It screws things up, right? Happened to me a couple of weeks ago, too. I was doing this seedy little bar gig up in Sudbury. And this guy at the... Yeah, I know. Believe me, I was there. And this time it was a guy at the back of the room. Weirdest laugh I've ever heard. I couldn't believe this laugh. It was so strange. It was throwing me off, but it was also throwing the audience off. Because every time he laughed, everyone in the audience was like, what the hell? What's that sound? I'll try and do this guy's laugh. I can't do it exactly, but it kind of went like this. Get out the stage, you suck! Is that not the weirdest laugh? Right? And he was loving the show, so I had to deal with it. Learning a bit of French now. French is a beautiful language. It's an easy language to learn, French. I've created a weird laugh. By talking about it, now there is one all of a sudden. Oh, she's lost it. I could kill her right now. I could just hammer it home and... But I'm learning a bit of French, and French is actually an easy language to learn, I've discovered, because there's rules to French. If you learn the rules to the grammar and you apply the rules, you will generally get it right most times. But English, our language, one of the hardest languages in the world to learn, because our rule system's gone. There's no rule system left in English. And if you're trying to explain to somebody how to speak English, you have to explain every single word individually. You know, you're like, okay, mouse, mice, house, houses. See how that works? Okay, watch. Goose, geese. Moose, moose. Oh, don't worry, you won't stop. You guys have been a lot of fun. Thanks very much for coming.